Think I scared of you? Who's scared of you? I come in here alone, and I always rocking alone.
This is 33-year-old Lolita Calendar, known online as Lola Doll, a famous singer who was shot on camera after beefing with the wrong camp in Guyana. On September 6, 2025, frantic calls for help brought police and emergency responders to Texas Square in East Rheinveld, Georgetown, Guyana, where they found Lola Doll inside her vehicle suffering from multiple gunshot wounds after a gunman approached the car and opened fire at close range.
Even though my father didn't want to come live, none of me family members them wanted me to come live. I gotta let me fans know what the fuck going on. I got to let y'all know. Me want nobody tell me stop. Cause when people want kill me, when you put their money for me and you want kill me.
Just hours before the shooting, she had been active on social media, speaking openly about ongoing disputes and accusations involving people connected to a powerful local family whose name had already been surrounded by controversy. As investigators began piecing together what happened that night, one name quickly surfaced during the early stages of the investigation, bringing even more attention to the case. But to understand how an online feud involving a popular influencer escalated into a targeted shooting outside her own home, we have to go back to the very beginning. This is the story of Lolita Calendar, also known as Lola Doll.
Come downstairs, big, back to you. Hey, shut up! Don't worry about them. The cameras ain't better like you. Do this some big shutters. I study best. And if you want to fight, I run in stone.
Lolita Calendar, widely known online as Lola Doll, was born around 1992 in Guyana. She grew up in difficult circumstances where money was limited, family problems were common, and responsibility came early. Those conditions forced her to grow up fast and learn how to rely on herself.
You must jiggle that cement for me. Girl, just jiggle that cement for me. Tell these hoes to come for me. Because I'm Mr. Martin. Going to get my vagina.
From a young age, Lolita stood out for being outspoken and direct. She was not someone who stayed quiet when something bothered her, and that confidence would later become one of the biggest parts of her public image. She also became a young mother early in life, which added another layer of responsibility and pushed her to find ways to support herself while raising a child. Over time, she began building a path through beauty and social media. She developed an interest in makeup and personal styling, then started sharing that side of herself online. As her posts gained attention, the name Lola Doll began to grow. Her audience connected with her because she felt real. She spoke the way she spoke in everyday life, posted boldly, and never tried to present herself as distant or overly polished. As her platform expanded, Lola Doll became more than a beauty personality. She also built herself up as a singer and entertainer, performing at community events and growing a following both online and offline. Her music performances and public appearances helped build a following that extended beyond the internet. People who followed her online began recognizing her in real life as well. She performed at community events and promoted appearances where she would interact with fans. Through that visibility, Lola Doll slowly built a recognizable brand. Her personality became central to that brand. She was known for being fearless when speaking her mind. If she disagreed with someone online, she confronted them openly. If critics attacked her, she responded publicly. Many of her videos showed her addressing conflicts directly, refusing to stay silent during disputes.
I'm gonna embarrass you. Don't come phone. I ain't feeling for talk to nobody today. Cause I'm on the contest waiting at upon life, then y'all ringing. I tell me in the life nobody calling me. Me want nobody tell me stop. Me fans them got to know. Even though me father didn't want to come live, none of me family members them wanted me to come live, I gotta let me fans know what the going on. I got to let y'all know.
Some viewers admired her honesty and confidence. Others criticized her confrontational style. But regardless of how people felt about her, Lola Doll rarely faded into the background. Her willingness to respond to criticism kept her name circulating online. But the same visibility that helped grow her audience also created new problems.
Wait, what the fuck this is? Friend, couple relationship. What kind of merry mouse come around stone to stay? Santa Claus don't take you off the Christmas list.
You naughty and nice, smile when I rise. Don't turn to friend for advice. I like it sloppy and well.
As her platform expanded, disagreements with other influencers and individuals began appearing more frequently on social media. Some arguments stayed limited to comments and videos, others escalated into extended public feuds where accusations were exchanged online.
Well, it's an intimate.
After several court appearances for an charge committed against Onika Pompey, controversial makeup artist Alita Callender, also known as Lola, appeared at the Georgetown Magistrate Court. The court heard that on April 6, 2018 at Leopold Street, Georgetown, Callender caused grievous bodily harm to Onika Pompey. Pompey had previously requested to be compensated $800,000 Guyana for her edges. This later had caused the accused to refuse to pay the amount requested, but rather offer hair care items. After being found guilty, Callender told the court, "I am sorry." However, Pompey was not in court, so the magistrate told Callender to apologize to Pompey on the next occasion. Callender was granted bail and will have to return to court on January 17, 2020 for sentencing.
Lola Doll did not treat arguments quietly. Instead, she addressed them publicly through live streams and posts. Her followers often watched those exchanges unfold in real time. In some cases, she called out individuals directly by name. In other moments, she hinted at conflicts without revealing every detail.
I have a side where when people get me vexed, as come and as cause them, we go 2 for 2. This it. This problem A is beyond Facebook now. This is beyond back and forth, cuss out and use this and use that, use pick fair and this and that, this and that. Now it's deeper than a cuss out. It reached to bigger level now.
She became known not only as an entertainer and influencer, but also as someone who was willing to confront people openly if she believed they had wronged her. And for a while, that reputation only increased her visibility.
Lolita Callender, also known as Lola, is back in the courts, this time for a street brawl between her and another businesswoman, which reportedly occurred 2 weeks ago. Callender was arraigned before City Magistrate Judy Lachman, charged with inflicting grievous bodily harm on businesswoman Onika Pompey on April 6 at Leopold Street. Lola, however, denied the allegation. Pompey was not at court and an arrest warrant was initially issued for her. Pompey turned up hours after that court appearance, and the charge of inflicting grievous bodily harm was read to her. She pleaded not guilty and was also placed on $80,000 bail.
But eventually, one name began appearing more often around her life. And that was when the story started to shift. Because at some point during those public disputes, Lola Doll's interactions began circling around a man whose name carried its own reputation. His name was Paul Davey Jr., but many people in Guyana knew him by another name, Randall.
Randall is a 29-year-old man widely known as the son of businessman Paul Davey Sr., a figure surrounded by controversy and public attention in Guyana. The Davey family name had already circulated through conversations involving business dealings, political influence, and allegations connected to criminal activity. Randall himself carried a reputation that extended beyond ordinary social disputes. Authorities had previously linked him to serious criminal allegations, including accusations tied to drug trafficking operations. His name had appeared in discussions involving international investigations and financial sanctions. In fact, the United States government placed sanctions on him, alleging connections to narcotics trafficking networks operating in the region.
Paul Davey Jr., who was sanctioned by the United States for trafficking.
Those sanctions placed Randall under a level of scrutiny that few individuals in Guyana experienced. But even before those international developments, Randall had already faced legal problems within Guyana itself. Court records showed he had dealt with charges including disorderly behavior, obstruction, and abusive language in earlier incidents. Though those cases did not necessarily result in long-term imprisonment, they contributed to a reputation that followed him through the public eye. In many circles, Randall's name carried weight, and people
people often associated him with power and influence. Either way, he was not an ordinary figure whose name appeared casually in public conflicts. And eventually, Lola Doll's public life began intersecting with his. At first, the conflict did not involve Randall directly. Instead, it began with an online dispute involving another woman named Sonia. Sonia was reportedly connected to Randall through family ties, and the two shared a child together. What started as a series of social media posts and comments soon turned into a public argument. According to Lola Doll, Sonia had been posting negative content about her online. The accusations and remarks quickly circulated through social media, drawing attention from followers who began debating the situation in comment sections and live stream chats. At first, Lola Doll tried to address the issue privately. She later explained during a live stream that she sent Sonia a direct message asking why she was speaking about her online, but Sonia never responded.
And that is when Randall entered the situation. Because Sonia was connected to him through their child, Lola Doll said she eventually reached out to Randall directly, hoping he might know why the attacks were happening in the first place. Instead of resolving the situation, that interaction appeared to deepen the tension. Soon, the dispute that had originally started between Lola Doll and Sonia began pulling in someone with far greater influence and notoriety. And Lola Doll did not avoid those disputes. Instead, she addressed them openly on social media.
You think I'm scared of you? Who's scared of you? I come in here alone, and I always rocking alone.
Her live streams included moments where she spoke about harassment, arguments, and tensions involving Sonia and people connected to Randall. In some of those videos, she directly accused certain individuals of targeting her online.
But what I'm going to tell you now is I'm going to pressure you tonight. If Dirty Crotch don't come with her distract. Remember, we had beef since yesterday. Smallest, go into your Facebook. I want to check my profile to see when I first started to take on this girl. Just go for my profile. I don't want to see something. You got up to 12 o'clock. I said so. If you can't drop the distract by 12, you're not an artist.
You is not a fucking artist.
The beef done. The beef is over. My artwork people already done the artwork. You hear me? Auntie, if the wig body you snatch it off. Okay. If the wig fucking body me, I would snatch it motherfucker clean off. Look. Clean off. Yeah. I bad like though. Yeah. If the fucking wig body me, I snatch off every motherfucker. Yeah. I dark like though. Okay. You know what? Squad plus supposed to be going just cock everywhere.
She claimed that rumors were being spread about her and that people were trying to damage her reputation. Those claims created a cycle of responses and counter-responses online. Lola Doll posted videos explaining her side of the conflict, and viewers quickly began debating the situation online. But the arguments did not remain limited to the internet. At certain points, Lola Doll spoke publicly about feeling threatened. She mentioned disputes involving Randall and Sonia, explaining during one live stream that tensions had escalated to the point where she believed her safety could be at risk.
Me want nobody tell me stop. Cause when people want kill me, when you put their money for me and you want kill me.
Her followers watched those statements unfold live. Some viewers treated the situation as another dramatic online feud. Others began expressing concern about the direction the conflict was taking. Because when disagreements involve people connected to powerful figures, the stakes can become much higher than ordinary internet arguments. Still, Lola Doll continued speaking openly. She insisted that she would not remain silent if she believed she was being targeted unfairly. And soon enough, the warnings and accusations started sounding less like internet drama and more like something building beneath the surface. But that was only the beginning. Because the situation surrounding Lola Doll, Randall, and the growing conflict between them was about to reach a moment where everything would begin to change. On the late hours of September 6, 2025, everything changed. That night, Lolita Collender was sitting inside her car outside her home in Texas Square, East Rheinveld, Georgetown, Guyana. The car remained parked while she sat inside. There was no public indication that she was in the middle of any argument at that moment. From the outside, it would have looked like a normal moment at the end of the night. But then, something changed. At some point, while Lola was still seated in the car, a motorcycle entered the area and moved toward where her vehicle was parked. The movement was direct. The rider did not stop at a distance and stay there. The motorcycle came close enough to her vehicle to make it clear that the person on it was not just passing through. And that's when the situation escalated. The motorcycle stopped near Lola Doll's car. A male suspect got off the bike and moved toward the vehicle. He did not linger or pace around. He closed the distance quickly and headed straight for the side of the car where Lola was seated. At that moment, Lola was still inside the vehicle, and then the shooting started. The gunman reached the car window and fired multiple rounds into the vehicle. The shots came in quick succession. Lola Doll was hit several times while still seated inside her car. The bullets struck different parts of her body, including her neck, face, hands, and right leg. The shooting was concentrated and direct. This was not random gunfire in the street. The shooter had approached her vehicle on purpose, closed in on her position, and fired through the window at close range. But that was only the beginning. Once the shots were fired, the damage had already been done. Lola remained inside the vehicle after being hit multiple times, and the gunman had already completed what he came there to do. But the gunfire did not go unnoticed.
On Saturday night, Lola was shot several times about her body while in her car outside her Texas Square, East Rumville, Georgetown house. Police said Lola was sitting in her car when she was attacked by a man on a motorcycle. She suffered gunshot wounds to her neck, face, hands, and right leg. Lola was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where her condition is listed as stable. Hours after, CCTV footage which captured the shooting surfaced on social media. The gunman was wearing what appears to be a hoodie to conceal his identity.
People in the surrounding homes heard the shots and stepped outside to see what had happened. Some rushed toward the vehicle, while others called emergency services. Lola was still inside the car when help arrived. She had been struck multiple times and was bleeding heavily. Within minutes, people began trying to get her medical help. She was removed from the vehicle and transported to Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation in Georgetown, Guyana. Doctors began treating her injuries. Despite multiple gunshot wounds, she was still alive when she arrived, and that changed the direction of the case almost immediately. While doctors worked to treat her injuries, Lola was able to communicate with investigators. During that time, she spoke about who she believed was responsible for what had happened to her. But outside the hospital, the story was already spreading.
If I didn't wind up that window and I left the window down, I would have dead. Because he would have get a clear shot to me. He would have gotten a clear shot and I would have dead. The first bullet would have killed me because the gun would have go inside of the mirror. He would have pined the gun inside of the car. You understand? Or the fact that I wind up the window, you have to bust the window to get to me. You understand? It would save me, make the bullet in reach no way that could have killed me. So what happened was when he started pelting shots now, I felt the four shots. The four shots I felt. I raised up my hand. I wasn't unconscious. The first shot, I shield with my hand. The hand that I shield my face with, pick up 3 bullets. Right now, my whole hand fracture, my bones then break up. The bones break up, everything break up. I steel in my hand right now, steel. One of the bullets go through my neck and exit through my chin.
News of the shooting moved quickly across social media in Guyana. Videos, live stream clips, and photos began circulating online as people tried to understand what had happened. Many viewers already knew Lola Doll from her online presence, and the idea that she had been shot outside her own home drew immediate attention. And as the story spread, police began working the scene. Officers returned to Texas Square in East Rumville and began collecting evidence from the area where the shooting had taken place. Investigators documented the position of the vehicle and looked for physical evidence left behind after the gunman fled. But another piece of information quickly pushed the investigation forward because Lola had already given investigators a name, and that name brought them back to the same man who had been mentioned in the online disputes leading up to the attack. Paul Davey Jr. Once that name entered the investigation, the situation escalated quickly. Authorities issued a wanted bulletin for Randall in connection with the shooting, but the man named in the bulletin would not remain out of sight for long.
Police have issued an arrest warrant for U.S.-sanctioned businessman Paul Davey in relation to the shooting of social media personality Lolita Kalinda, also known as Lola Doll. Police gave Davey's last known address as Degar Park and have asked for anyone with information on the whereabouts of Davey to contact the nearest police station. Davey, who is also known as Randall, was sanctioned earlier this year by the United States for drug trafficking. Lolita Kalinda was shot multiple times in front of her Texas Square East Rhineville home while sitting in her car on Saturday evening. She was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital, and it was later learned that she was shot at least 8 times.
Shortly after the bulletin was issued, he appeared at a police station accompanied by his attorney and surrendered to authorities. His arrival marked the first major development in the case since the shooting had occurred. Once in custody, investigators questioned him regarding his alleged role in the attack. But while Randall was being questioned, investigators were also examining what had actually happened during the attack itself. And as investigators reviewed the footage, it became clear that the person on the motorcycle might be the key to solving the case. Because of that evidence, police began searching for another individual believed to have carried out the shooting itself. While that search continued, Randall remained in custody as the legal process moved forward. Detectives reviewed his alibi and examined surveillance footage from his home. And what detectives found during that review would shape the next step in the case.
The police seem to have found no evidence to confirm that Paul Davey Jr., known as Randall, is responsible for the shooting of social media personality Lolita Kalinda, popularly known as Lola Doll. A source familiar with the investigation told Nightly News that investigators checked out Davey's alibi and that he was at home when Lola was shot. Between his home and the home of the mother of his child, Davey's attorney, Sayand Dujon, when contacted for a comment, would only say that his client has been released on $1 million bail.
After reviewing the footage and examining his timeline, investigators said Randall's alibi appeared to check out. Because of that, police said they had not found proof that he was the person who carried out the attack. And so, after the mandatory detention period expired, police released Randall on $1 million Guyanese station bail, with strict reporting conditions while the investigation continued. Another suspect was also released on $500,000 station bail. As of now, the investigation into the shooting remains active, and authorities have not publicly identified the gunman seen in the surveillance footage. Meanwhile, Randall remains out on $1 million Guyanese station bail, reporting to police as required while the investigation continues. Authorities have stated that the case remains open and that additional developments could occur if new evidence emerges. And while investigators continue searching for answers, Lola Doll herself has continued speaking publicly about what happened that night. On social media after the shooting, she described the moment the gunman opened fire on her car. She explained that when the shooting began, she instinctively raised her hands to shield her face. Several bullets struck her arms during that moment, leaving her with serious fractures and injuries. One bullet entered her neck and exited through her jaw. Despite the severity of those wounds, she survived. During one broadcast that attracted thousands of viewers, Lola Doll said she feared for her safety and for the safety of her children following the attack. She explained that because of those fears, her children were no longer going to school and were staying close to her while she continued recovering from her injuries.
On a Facebook Live, which attracted more than 10,000 listeners, Kalinda said her children are not going to school.
I am afraid for my life, and I'm afraid for my children's life. Right now, me never sending me children to school no more. Me never sending them to school no more. They ain't going to school. They ain't going nowhere. They're gonna be with me all the time until justice is served.
News outlets across Guyana covered the shooting, Randall's surrender, and the ongoing search for the gunman. Online, people debated what had happened and whether the attack was connected to the public conflicts that had unfolded on social media. But regardless of those debates, one fact remained clear. A well-known social media personality had been ambushed and shot multiple times outside her own home, and the person who carried out the attack had not yet been identified. For Lola Doll's supporters, the case became a symbol of something larger than a single act of violence. It raised questions about online disputes turning into real-world danger, and about how public conflicts can sometimes escalate far beyond the internet. For investigators, the case remains an unresolved attempt to determine who planned the attack and who carried it out. And for Lola Doll herself, survival meant facing the long process of recovery while the investigation continued around her. Because even after the gunfire stopped that night in East Rheinfeldt, Georgetown, the story did not end there. The questions surrounding what happened, who ordered the attack, and who pulled the trigger are still waiting for answers. And until those answers emerge, the shooting of Lolita Callender, known online as Lola Doll, remains an open investigation. What do you think about it? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you found this story intriguing, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.